Yay! Now we are on to the hat. This is part 4, and this is going to be the last part of the Oogie Boogie costume slash dress. I eyeballed this for the most part. I did watch a video before doing the hood to see what type of shape I needed. It's a really odd looking shape, but once I cut it out and sew it together, it starts coming together. But when you first look at it, it does not look like that's what the hoodie would be. So just bear with me, it does get its form here in a minute. So as I'm cutting it a little bit closer to the line than I did with the corset in the other video, because I'm going to be going over this with fray check and I won't have to worry about it coming undone, because right after I cut this up, I'm going to be outlining that. So if you wanted to leave extra and not do the fray check, then just make sure that you're cutting 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from your cuts so that you can then hem it. But if you do have fray check, that did help quite a bit with this hood, especially because of the shape of the hood. So that's why I did it on this versus the corset. As I was cutting, I realized that it wasn't quite the shape that I wanted. So if you were cutting and you notice that, just keep cutting until you have the shape that you want. So you don't necessarily have to follow your lines, they're just guides for you. But I noticed in the top corner, I didn't round it off as much as I would have liked to. So I do end up taking off more than what I originally had. The first cut that I made in that divot, I don't believe I ever changed that. I think I kept it the same. So the only adjustment that I did was just for that top part so that it would be more round once I sewed it up. Once you get the desired cut that you want in the hood, you're gonna open it up and lay it completely flat if you're doing the fray check. If you are going to be hemming instead of the fray check, you don't necessarily have to open it up. You can just start sewing it together. But again, I still recommend the fray check because that way it doesn't unravel in spots where you think you might have sewn, but maybe it was just a loose spot. So this fray check really does help, especially with the burlap. It also does not take long to dry. I was working on every single piece at the same time so that when one thing was drying, I would just immediately start working on a different piece. So this fray check in total probably maybe took 15 to 20 minutes to dry. There were times when I would grab the piece and it wouldn't be 100% dry, but it'd be dry enough, so I'd just start working with it. So it's just your judgment, but it really does not take that long to dry and was really helpful and easy to use. So you can kind of see where I started. I started at the top part where it starts to open up. And what I did was I started folding the material into itself, but not a lot, just a little bit so that the frayed edges wouldn't be sticking out everywhere. If that's the desired look that you're going for, then you can definitely not fold them in and just leave them like that. They'd be fine. But I wanted them folded in to make it kind of look more clean, but also that the focus was on the stitches versus the actual burlap. So that's why I ended up folding them in. It was also easier to work with. Once you are done sewing the hood, you're going to attach a spider to some yarn and put it through the tip of the hood, kind of like how Oogie Boogie has one hanging from him. These spiders I got from Walmart during the Halloween season. Also, I forgot to film the eyes, but it's just paint, painted the eyes on. So ignore the background, but this is the overall outfit, and I might do a photo shoot with it at some point, but this is all I could do for that night.